First, let's start off with this. You will have to decide for yourself what makes sense to you about what happens when you die. I'm not here to be the authority on what happens when you die. I will tell you as a medium what my experience has been, and I will share that with you. Perhaps there's other people that you are listening to that will tell you something else, but I'll share my experience with you, close to 20 years of being a medium, and I will tell you what I experienced when I connect to those who have crossed over, the messages from spirit guides that I have channeled over the years and written about in various books, and you can see if that makes logical sense to you. When you die, as I've stated before, you are going through the same doorway that you came through when you were born. You chose to be born. You chose to have the basic structure of the beings that you would travel through this life with. That would be your immediate family. That would be the gender you were born in. Doesn't matter if you did something later with your gender, but you had to experience that. The ethnicity you were born in, doesn't matter if you were born into that birth country or not. You may be born in or raised in another country, but your parents instill a culture on you. You signed up for all of this. Now, if you don't believe you signed up for all of this, then you believe that it's random. And if you start off that things are random, you're not going to really find a strong belief system down the line, because the foundation is things are random, and that's your core belief. Again, if you want to approach this from a new way and not the decades and decades or maybe centuries of what people have told you about what happens when you die, then keep an open mind and listen. What I've experienced is that since it is the same doorway, number one, it is not wrong when you leave this physical body. No matter how you leave, it will be your time to go. It is how your higher self has created it psychically for you to cross over. And this can be very difficult for some people to accept. Before I had this awakening to this larger path, or karmic path, if you want to call it that, of existence, going through different dimensions, which we call life. This is a dimension. Then you will go to the next dimension. When you leave the body, or when you're about to leave the body, you will have usually someone who comes and visits you to cross you over the bridge. Let's imagine that there's a bridge. Oftentimes I've even seen a bridge. So they come. Usually it is a loved one whom you trust, who has already passed over on the other side. If you don't have someone whom you love on the other side, sometimes it will be an animal that you love. It might be a dog that you owned in your lifetime, or it might be a beautiful horse, something to calm your system, to let you know that there's something enticing for you to let go of the physical body. Sometimes it's your spirit guides. Now, many people now who have done meditation and done spirit guide work have some idea of who their main spirit guides are, and these are the ones who will show up. Sometimes it's two or one. I've seen most of the time it's two. It'll be a loved one and a spirit guide. The soul, meaning you, leaves the physical body. You do not have a soul, you are a soul. You have a body. You manifested that body. You will leave it behind the way you left your little desk when you were in 3rd grade and graduated. You left that desk behind. You left some of your clothes behind. You're certainly not going to wear in 6th grade what you wore in 3rd grade. You outgrow the outer shell. So you leave the body. That experience, that change of environment, is very dramatic. It's not really traumatic because there's a great deal of love when this is happening. During that moment when the soul is leaving the body, a tremendous amount of love and light begins to appear. Some people experience going in a tunnel, some people have no tunnel at all, and they're suddenly in a beautiful field. So there's no let's say there's no rule about this is exactly what happens. I'm going to share with you my experience again as a medium. People have experienced being in a beautiful scene in nature. Suddenly, they're transported there. Some people do experience a tunnel and don't see much of a room or environment around. They just see a few loved ones that they haven't seen in a long time. As you cross over, a great deal of healing happens. If you were in physical pain when you left the body, you have no more pain. It's almost as if you suddenly come to a great realization that we are all eternal. So you're not looking back for too long at the loved ones you left behind saying, oh no, I'm never going to see them again, and go into a depression. It's almost as if you're downloaded with this understanding that you absolutely will see them again. In fact, you're going to continue to see them from this new vantage point, and that they will be here before you know it, before they know it, and they leave that pain behind, so their vibration goes up. Our vibration, of course, goes down, which prevents clear communication, which is why you need, again, a medium, someone in the middle who isn't emotionally attached to the death and is able to bring you some messages. When the soul crosses over, it needs time to acclimate. There's a lot of hands to shake, a lot of hugs to give out, and understanding the environment you're in. Many people then are given the opportunity to, I will call it, manifest a body. Now you say, but I don't have a body anymore. Well, you have the ability to create your body there. So the image of how you would like to be, I've seen people who chose an age. So I'll do a mediumship reading and I'll say this person looks like they're 28 years old. They want you to know they're 28, but it was grandpa who died, who was 92. Well, he took the body of a 28-year-old. I've seen the opposite happen, where someone young decides they want to feel what it's like to be older. There's an excellent film that I think has it about 85% in agreement with what I would believe, which is called What Dreams May Come. It's starring Robin Williams. When the film came out, it went over a lot of people's heads. They weren't ready for it, but I think now they're going to be ready for it. So watch What Dreams May Come. A lot of that is what I've experienced. You can take on the form you wish to take on. Imagine that, you can take on the form. You can be an elf, or you can be a wizard, or you can be skinny, or you can be heavier, or you can be a younger version or older version of yourself, because you're able to understand energy creation. Sounds really good, right? So what about this idea about atonement, or having to look back at your bad deeds? Well, they don't come from bad deeds. There is no religion or ethnicity on the other side. It is the only religion there or truth there is love and nurturing. If you have had a troubled life and did a lot of things to hurt people, you will be rehabilitated, you will get healing, because you did those things because you couldn't receive love, or you were too traumatized to have a peaceful existence on the planet. And so, of course, the peaceful and loving thing would be not to punish you, but to bring you, to help you receive love and to heal you. You will be brought to a space, I've seen this also, where you will have to look back on your life. You will look back on every moment of your life, except you're going to see it from the perspective of people around you, because you already know your perspective. You're going to see it from their perspective and how they felt around you. This is not a punishment, because you're also going to feel great joy. You're going to feel that they even felt joy in how proud they were of you, or how much they loved you, or how much you made them laugh, or how you impacted them. So it's not just the ones that you hurt. You need to see that, because you need to be able to clearly and with sobriety, in a spiritual sense, see what you've created and what you contributed to. This is how you evolve in any situation. So again, logic, like I said, think of this logically, see if this feels logical to you. You would then take all of this information, you sit with your spirit guides, they talk to you. You might call them counseling sessions of some kind, and you begin to understand reality and creation on a much different level. You will see other souls who are on different timelines than you, from different eras, because time is a construct. Now, more on that later. We'll do another video on that if you want to ask me about that. So, what about reincarnation? Well, after a certain amount of time, you will decide how you would like to reincarnate, where you would like to reincarnate, what there is left to learn that you need to learn in a physical environment. Again, people will say, well, isn't that, you just said I had a body, isn't that a physical environment? Yes, but you don't need to eat on that side. You can eat, but you don't have to eat if you really want to experience it. If you want to experience togetherness, guess what? You already feel oneness when you're there. Will you see your loved ones again? Yes, you will wait. Like I've said before, you will not reincarnate till most of, if not everyone that you knew has also crossed over, and you all are together again and recognize that, and then you decide, because you're all on the same page now of evolution of the soul, then you will choose to reincarnate. When a soul crosses over, they are not really cognizant of everything that you're still doing here. If they were to be around you all the time, they would still be alive. Their job no longer is to watch over you 24/7. By the way, they can't really protect you from anything. They can only nudge you this way or that way a little bit by suggestions, psychic suggestions to you. Go left, go right, remember to do this. But their job is not to hang around you all the time. They have much more to do, much more to learn, but they do have access to kind of being able to get messages to you if it is important enough. So just know that your vibration or the way to connect with your loved ones is more through joy than grief. Grief is not going to connect you to them powerfully. You think it does because you think the more that you mourn, the more that you can feel the love for them, but that's only for a short period of time. Eventually you want to develop a spiritual relationship with your loved one who's crossed over rather than focusing on the physical relationship that you lost. You have gained something now and access to them in their higher version of themselves. So again, through the practice of meditation, of quieting the mind, of understanding that you live in a psychic reality, this is going to help you. So there's more to be said, but that's the basic gist of what happens after you die.